one man's tumultuous journey through political intrigue, imprisonment, and exile still shape our understanding of power and governance centuries later? Today we are discussing the life of one of my favorite yet controversial figures of all time, Niccolo Machiavelli. Before we start, if you enjoy this video and find value in it, I would greatly appreciate it if you left a like so that more people may find it. Additionally, if you don't want to miss out on more videos, why not subscribe so that you won't miss out on more videos? Now let's get started, shall we? Niccolo Machiavelli was born on May 3rd, 1469 in Florence, Italy, into a tumultuous world of political intrigue and cultural flourishing. He was the third child of Bernardo di Niccolo Machiavelli, a lawyer, and his wife, Bartolomea di Stefano Nelli. Growing up in a middle-class family, Machiavelli received a solid education grounded in the classical traditions of the time, studying Latin, grammar, rhetoric, and history. His early interests leaned heavily towards literature and philosophy, which later influenced his profound understanding of human nature and politics. The rich intellectual environment of Florence marked Machiavelli's youth during the Renaissance, a period that celebrated the revival of classical knowledge and the arts. This vibrant atmosphere played a crucial role in shaping his critical thinking and analytical skills long before he ventured into the turbulent world of Florentine politics. Niccolo Machiavelli's political career began in earnest in 1498, when he was appointed as the second chancellor and secretary to the Republic of Florence at the age of 29. This period marked the fall of the Medici family and the rise of the Florentine Republic. Machiavelli served under the leadership of Piero Soderini, the Gonfaloniere, a title akin to head of state. In his role, Machiavelli was responsible for diplomatic missions and military affairs, which allowed him to interact with prominent political and military leaders across Europe. One of his most significant diplomatic missions was to the court of France and the Holy Roman Empire, where he observed the intricacies of power and statecraft. These experiences deeply influenced his understanding of political strategy and governance. Additionally, he played a crucial role in the formation and training of a citizen militia, a move aimed at reducing Florence's reliance on mercenaries and strengthening its defense. Niccolo Machiavelli's political career flourished during a time of great turmoil and shifting power dynamics in Florence. Serving as the second chancellor and secretary to the Republic of Florence from 1498, Machiavelli worked under the leadership of Piero Soderini, who was elected Gonfaloniere for life in 1502. During his tenure, Machiavelli undertook numerous diplomatic missions, gaining valuable insights into the political machinations of European courts. One of his most significant diplomatic assignments was to the French court, where he observed King Louis XIII. He also traveled to the Papal States, the Holy Roman Empire, and the court of Cesare Borgia, an influential figure who profoundly impacted Machiavelli's views on power and statecraft. His encounters with Borgia in particular illustrated the ruthless efficiency with which political power could be exercised, a theme that would later permeate his writings. In addition to his diplomatic duties, Machiavelli played a crucial role in military reforms in Florence. Recognizing the weaknesses of relying on mercenary forces, he advocated for the establishment of a citizen militia. His efforts culminated in the creation and training of a Florentine militia, which he believed would be more loyal and effective in defending the Republic. However, Machiavelli's fortunes changed dramatically with the return of the Medici family to power in 1512. The Medici, having been ousted from Florence in 1494, regained control with the help of Spanish forces. Piero Soderini was deposed, and the Florentine Republic was dissolved. As a prominent official of the former Republican government and a known supporter of Soderini, Machiavelli was viewed with suspicion by the returning Medici rulers. In February 1513, Machiavelli was implicated in a conspiracy against the Medici known as the Boscoli and Capponi plot, named after two of the principal conspirators, Pietro Paolo Boscoli and Agostino Capponi. Although the exact details of Machiavelli's involvement in the plot remain unclear, he was arrested on February 19, 1513, and imprisoned in the Bargello, Florence's primary prison and execution site. The charges against him included conspiracy to overthrow the Medici government, a serious accusation that carried severe penalties. During his imprisonment, Machiavelli was subjected to harsh interrogations and torture, specifically the strappato. This brutal method involved binding his hands behind his back and hoisting him by a rope attached to his wrists, then dropping him suddenly to cause intense pain in his shoulders and arms. Despite the torture, Machiavelli maintained his innocence and denied any involvement in the conspiracy. Machiavelli remained in the Bargello for several weeks. His release came unexpectedly in March 1513, following the election of Giovanni de' Medici as Pope Leo X. To celebrate the new pope's ascension, an amnesty was declared, and Machiavelli, along with several other prisoners, was released. Despite his release, Machiavelli was not restored to his previous political positions and was instead exiled from Florence. This period of imprisonment and subsequent exile marked a significant turning point in Machiavelli's life. Stripped of his political career and forced to retire to his family's estate at Sant'Andrea in Percusina, Machiavelli turned to writing as a means of staying intellectually and politically engaged. It was during this time of enforced isolation that he penned some of his most influential works, most notably The Prince, which he wrote in an effort to regain favor with the Medici by offering them his insights on power and governance. I won't go into detail on the book as there are videos that summarize it perfectly, but it is a good book to read. Despite his prolific writing, Machiavelli yearned for a return to political life. His opportunity came in 1520 when Cardinal Giulio de' Medici, who would later become Pope Clement VII, commissioned him to write a history of Florence. This resulted in The History of Florence, History Fiorentine, completed in 1525 and dedicated to the Medici family. The work demonstrated Machiavelli's historical insight and his ability to blend historical narrative with political analysis. Machiavelli's hopes for a political comeback were never fully realized. In 1527, the Medici were temporarily expelled from Florence and the Republic was restored. However, despite his Republican sympathies, Machiavelli was not reinstated to his former positions, partly due to lingering suspicions about his loyalty and the controversial nature of his writings. On June 21, 1527, Niccolo Machiavelli died at the age of 58. The exact cause of his death is not definitively known, but it is believed that he succumbed to natural causes, possibly exacerbated by the stress and disappointment of his political failures. He died in Florence, where he had spent much of his life navigating the turbulent world of Renaissance politics. Machiavelli was buried at the Church of Santa Croce in Florence, where a monument was later erected in his honor. His writings, particularly The Prince, have left an indelible mark on political thought, influencing generations of political leaders and theorists. His legacy remains a subject of study and debate, reflecting the enduring relevance of his insights into power, politics, and human nature. Now, I would like to briefly go over some of his most notable work. 1. The Prince, Il Principe. Written in 1513 and published posthumously in 1532, The Prince is perhaps Machiavelli's most famous work. It is a political treatise offering advice to new princes and rulers on how to maintain power and control over their states. The book is known for its pragmatic and at times ruthless approach to politics, encapsulating the idea that the ends justify the means. It explores various aspects of political power, including the use of deceit, the importance of military strength, and the necessity of adapting to changing circumstances. 2. Discorsi on Livy. Discorsi sopra la prima decade di Tito Livio. Written between 1513 and 1517, Discourses on Livy is an extensive commentary on the first 10 books of the Roman historian Livy's History of Rome. In this work, Machiavelli examines the structure and benefits of republican government, contrasting it with princely rule. He advocates for civic virtue and active participation in politics by citizens, drawing lessons from the Roman Republic to discuss themes of liberty, military organization, and the importance of a balanced constitution. 3. The Art of War, dell'arte della guerra. Published in 1521, The Art of War, not to be confused with the book written by Sun Tzu, is a dialogue on military strategy and organization. Machiavelli emphasizes the importance of a well-trained and disciplined citizen militia over mercenary forces, reflecting his practical experiences with military affairs in Florence. The book covers various aspects of warfare, including the organization of troops, tactics, fortifications, and the role of war in achieving political objectives. It is structured as a series of conversations between Machiavelli and his contemporaries. 4. The Mandrake, La Mandragola. Written around 1518, The Mandrake is a satirical comedy that showcases Machiavelli's wit and understanding of human nature. The play centers on a cunning plot by Callimaco, who, with the help of a scheming friar, deceives a gullible old man into allowing him to spend a night with his wife Lucrezia under the pretext of fertility treatment. The play is a sharp critique of moral and social norms, highlighting themes of deception, desire, and the corruption of religious and social institutions. 5. The History of Florence, History Fiorentine. Commissioned by Cardinal Giulio de' Medici and completed in 1525, The History of Florence is a historical narrative covering the history of Florence from its founding through the year 1492. Machiavelli provides a detailed and analytical account of Florence's political, social, and economic developments, blending historical events with his insights into human nature and political power. The work is notable for its critical perspective on the Medici family and its reflection on the causes of political instability and conflict. These works collectively highlight Machiavelli's contributions to political theory, military strategy, literature, and history, showcasing his deep understanding of power dynamics, human behavior, and the complexities of governance. Machiavelli's life and works emphasize the necessity of realism in politics. He advocated for a pragmatic approach to governance, where leaders must understand and navigate the complexities of human nature and power dynamics. The Prince exemplifies this, teaching that idealism must sometimes be set aside in favor of practical and sometimes ruthless strategies to maintain control and stability. Machiavelli's ability to adapt to changing political landscapes is a key lesson. Despite facing imprisonment and exile, he continued to engage intellectually and contribute significantly to political thought. His writings suggest that successful leaders must be able to adapt their strategies in response to shifting circumstances and opportunities. Machiavelli's extensive education in classical literature, history, and philosophy provided the foundation for his influential works. His life underscores the importance of a strong educational background and continuous learning, enabling individuals to analyze, understand, and respond to complex situations effectively. Let's all learn from history together. Until next time.